Just Another True Story, Part 1. I remember the day had started out simple enough. Just entering my mid-teens, the world was my canvas and I was going to make the most out of it. I had woke up with a headache from the night before, possibly one or two too many. It's funny now that I think about it because it wasn't about to deter me from the upcoming journey I would ultimately be embarking on. It was the weekend, and without fail there would be friends on their way to whisk me off on another adventure. Sure enough, without fail, my best friend at the time was on his way up to the door to convince me that we needed to embark on one of his not so well thought out endeavors. I combed back my hair and we were off. It was always about money with him. As long as you had money or could get it, he was your bestie. So let the day's planning begin, and so it did. The day always started with the most important issues, like figuring out how we were going to afford the day's alcohol fees and then who we would have aid us in its consumption. With him, that question almost certainly answered itself almost immediately. After securing our first case for the day, we headed for the local strip. Surely we would find a qualifying young lady that was more interested in the prospect of free alcohol than anything else, and it didn't take long to run across a pair of willing participants. We would explore various beaches for most of the day, running across more of our friends along the way until we had a full crew of 8 or more, 2 or 3 carloads, and several cases of whatever anyone needed. Just another normal day. I remember thinking how great it was to be a teenager in a fairly small country town. The day was going well. We had had a fun day exploring the beaches and meeting new girls with hopes of love, or at least fun, in the hours to come. I guess some of us were looking for something more, but mostly I think this was an exploratory mission. It was early afternoon now, so as usual it was time to see if we could get some new tattoos. Since my friend's uncle was pretty close to the artist, we could usually walk away with something new for the cost of a hamburger. This particular day we would end up basically taking over the shop. While a couple of us were getting work done, more and more of our friends would start to trickle into the picture from all over the local area. Through our adventures we had made friends in 3 or 4 towns, and it seemed they were all out tonight. It wasn't too long before our little group had grown substantially. It's about this time that one of our closer friends shows up completely inebriated. He explains that he has just stolen his mother's car and is just completely out of control. He stayed for a few minutes and off he went, but that wasn't the last we hear from him today. We were just about finished at the tattoo shop and about ready to move on to the next step in our adventure when our friend, the one who had stolen the car's sister, explodes through the door. She was mad. No matter what we said, she knew he had been there. As quickly as she had stormed into the picture, she stormed back out. But that would only be the beginning of a turn of events that would wildly spiral out of control.